I'm Aveline, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So, how are you doing today? You doing good? That's so good to hear. Anywho, long time no see. I do have a few words just before we get started with today's build. I would like to thank you, Jin Rummy Stars, for sponsoring today's video. You can download Jin Rummy Stars for your phone by clicking on the link at the top of the description box. But in case you don't know what Jin Rummy Stars is, it is a free-to-play card game app where you play against other people online. In Jin Rummy Stars, you're given 10 different cards from which you'll have to make sets or runs, also known as straight flushes in, for example, poker, to win. But at the same time, you also gotta keep an eye on those cards that you don't use. Those are called deadwood. Otherwise, you're gonna end up handing over a lot of points to your opponent, and that is not the goal. Then you're gonna lose. The game also lets you create your own super cool avatar. Mine looks like this. I don't know, I feel like she's pretty close. It's pretty spot on, right? So I've been playing for a couple of days and I'm already level 20. I like how it's not like super straightforward. There's a layer of strategy to it, because you actually got to think about what card combinations you're gonna go for. So it's both relaxing, fun, but also strategic at the same time. In the game, there's also a variant that's called Joker's Jin, where they include all the cards in the deck, so that also includes the jokers. So adding the jokers to the card game as well actually adds an extra layer of strategy, which in my personal and very humble opinion, honestly just makes the game more fun. So let's see if we can get a knock or a Jin on this lady. Not having the best of luck with my cards though. We got a joker! Cool. Ooh, we can knock for 7. Do I dare? Do I do it? Let's do it. If I lose to Deadwood right now. Oh no, it's an undercut! Never mind. I lost. Jin Rummy Stars are pledged to making the world a better place and would like to raise awareness for animal rights too. So here between the 19th and the 25th of June, they will actually donate some of their proceeds to IFAW, which is a non-profit organization that works on rescuing, rehabilitating, releasing animals while also restoring and protecting their natural habitat. So use my link at the top of the description box to download the game for free, and you'll also receive 1,000 coins as well as a bonus. I highly recommend that you check out the game because it's actually quite fun, and thank you again so much to Jin Rummy Stars for sponsoring today's video, but most importantly, thank you guys for hanging out with me today here on the channel. I appreciate you all so much. Now let's get this build started, shall we? So today we are building another house in Moonwood Mill. This one is built on one of the 40 by 30 lots, which means that I'm missing another 40 by 30 and a 50 by 40. I don't really know what to do with that 50 by 40, but we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. But this house, or this lot, there was 3 werewolves living here. I don't think any of them are in a couple or so. So what I wanted to do, kind of inspired by them, also if I'm wrong about that, sorry. Anyway, might have overlooked it or not noticed it or whatever, but what I wanted to do, kind of inspired by the household already living on this lot, was that I decided to basically make this like big house and then turn it into communal housing or communal living. So it's essentially a house that is not necessarily for a family, but it's for more like adult Sims, but also because I had an extra bedroom, I decided to turn it into a children's room. So if any of them happen to have children at some point, there is also room for them. But what you can do with that room, if you don't want any of them to have children, if it's completely against this household already living on this lot and you don't feel like making a new lot or a new household for this house. Yeah, that was confusing for a second. Anyway, what you can do with that room is basically turn it into whatever else you want there to be in the room, or maybe move one of the other bedrooms into that one because it's a little bit bigger than one of the other bedrooms that I did. I actually think I gave the children the biggest room, but that's also because I knew that there was going to be more than one Sim living in there, so they got the biggest bedroom. That is just how it is. But as for the rest of the house, I also tried to make this like, I try to bring in this communal living vibe, if you will, into the other areas of the house. So they have a couple of more common areas. There's a playroom for the kids, there's a living room. They also have a shed next to the house where I put up one of those big cinema screens, not the ones from Movie Hangout, but one of the new ones from Little Campers, what's it called, Little Campers? I don't know, it's a super cute screen, so I just felt like it fit perfectly in there, even though I think you could also use that outdoors, but it felt right to place it in the shed, so, or in this little extra building they have next to the house. So they just have these like common areas where they can hang out, but then they also have their own bedrooms where they do have some hobby items and stuff. So if they need some more private time or just to take a breather, because trust me, I know it's exhausting living among people. I've been living alone for a while now and I cannot even imagine, but I just felt like it was important for them to also have space so they could be alone, basically. So they do have sizable bedrooms with some hobby items, and yeah, except for one of them. One of them is a little bit smaller, but it's a whole situation. You'll see once we get to the floor plan. It was the best that I could do, okay? So I've been working on this house over the past 3 days. I think I started it Thursday, but Friday I went to a concert and I had to clean my apartment before going because I was having guests over as well. A couple of my friends got here. And then yesterday I did not function the entire day. I'm sure you can guess why. I was tired. We ended up walking so much Friday. My legs were not working yesterday. I have not been that, like, my body hurt. It's fine. I've gotten old by now, so like walking for that long and then, you know, a little bit of alcohol on top of that, cannot handle it very well apparently. So yesterday was a little bit of a struggle, but I figured I would make sure to either get this video up yesterday or today. So today it is, but I'll see if I can work on the other 40 by 30 for sometime next week and then try to figure out what to do with the 50 by 40 so that I can have an updated save file up for you guys, because I did promise that I was going to do that as quickly as possible at least. So that's kind of what I've been working towards. We only got these 5 lots anyways, so it's not like it should take that long. It's more of an issue figuring out what to do with a 50 by 40, because I think right now it's a bar, and I think the factory is actually a library, but I don't know if I want to turn it into a library, because that doesn't feel right to me for some reason. But I don't know, if you got any ideas for the other 2 lots, definitely let me know. I have gotten some requests to do a 1-story family home here, but I don't think I'm going to turn it into a 1-story family home. I'm thinking I still want to do something with like a repurposed factory, or what's it called, converted factory, or whatever you want to call that. But it's not going to be a 1-story, and we've kind of run out of lots for households as well. If we're going to keep the other 2 as community lots, we've run out of lots for households. Am I making sense right now? Yeah, I feel like I am. Anyway, so this is the little shed next to the house as well. I was trying to do something fancy with the roofing, but it wasn't really, it didn't look right. So we just go back to this standard ape-shaped roof. It's fine. Why did it just sound like I said ape-shaped? I don't even know what that is. Anyway, moving on. It's Sunday. It's been a long week, okay? If language-wise it's not really going that well, I'm blaming it on that and the fact that I haven't slept for like a week. So anyway, but yeah, I wanted to add a pond as well, so I did that. I actually really like doing these kinds of like smaller buildings on stilts. And then I'm just going to call it stilts because I don't know what else you would call that foundation. And then adding a pond underneath, because I think it looks so cool when like some of the house is above water for some reason. I don't know how to put that into words, but I just think it looks good. So I added that over here. And I like how it looks. I like that they have a little pond back here. Now that I think about it, I should have probably added one of those fish signs so they could actually go fishing there, but I didn't think about that as I was building. So that's one thing. If you want to add a fish sign, you can find one of those in the debug catalog, by the way. I'm pretty sure you can almost search for fish or maybe like fish sign and something should pop up. But if it doesn't, it's so easy to find one because there are so many of them in the debug catalog. And also, if you're curious about the debug catalog, I think I already, or always, not already, I think I always have my cheats listed in the description, by the way. So that includes like move objects on, for example. I also have a tutorial on how to use the shelf as well. So there's a couple of helpful things in the description box if you're curious, at least. Which actually reminds me, once we're done with the houses here in Moonwood Mill, if there's anything you'd like to see me do a tutorial on, definitely let me know. I think I've already explained this once before, but I kind of suck at spotting things that I do that other people wouldn't necessarily know how to do, because in my head, if I know how to do this, everyone knows how to do it. So it's just kind of like, I'm just assuming that I'm always a step behind on tricks and stuff, so I wouldn't know, I wouldn't know what kind of stuff I do that would be fancy to show off or whatever. So if there's anything specific, if you have seen me do anything in this video or any other video that you'd like me to explain in a tutorial video, I might put like 3 tutorials into one or something. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do it, but definitely let me know, because I will be having a look at it once I am done with my voice is failing me right. Wow, come back to me, please. Okay, but I'll have a look at it once I'm done with the houses here in Moonwood Mills. So I just kind of realized that I haven't really spoken for most of the day yesterday and also today before doing the voiceover. So if my voice suddenly starts cutting out, it's just because I've lost it, okay? No need to freak out. Everything's fine. Oh, also, I should point out that for this house, I did not put any restrictions on which packs that I'm using and stuff. Generally, it's not really a thing that I do, but I just wanted to make sure that everything just kind of flowed in this house. I wanted to use whatever I felt like using so that everything would just kind of go together. So I'm not putting any pack restrictions on myself for this one. It's a big mix of everything. I'm just trying to find whatever items have like a slight rustic vibe to it, or looks a little bit retro, or just has wear and tear on it. This dining table right here, I think is from Cats and Dogs. That's one of the more rustic items that I think fits well into this sort of setting. So we're also using a fair amount of stuff from Laundry Day too. Eco Lifestyle, of course, Cats and Dogs, and let me think. I think there's a few items from Real with Magic too, even though that doesn't have the wear and tear vibe to it, but there's something about the color scheme with that pack that just kind of flowed really well with the color scheme from this one. So like, I would say style-wise, not necessarily full-on matches, but there was something that was working well with it at least. And of course, all the beds are basically the same beds from Eco Lifestyle, because we have that futon looking kind of mattress bed that just looks perfect in this setting. So I also wanted to make sure that despite it being communal housing, I felt like I still wanted it to fit with the vibe of this pack, so everything just kind of looks worn. I think I did this off cam, maybe, but I actually end up going through some of the rooms and placing down some of the tears and wallpapers and stuff, so if you stick around for the pictures at the end of the video, you will see that there's like decor, or you will see some of these like cracks in the walls and tears in the wallpaper and all that stuff. So I wanted it to look very used and old and like they've had this furniture for a while. I don't know, if you come up with like a backstory for this house, I would love that. Definitely let me know. I actually used to ask that quite often in my videos a while back, if any of you had any background stories for the houses, because you guys come up with the most like creative story ideas that I'm not even close to when I start decorating and stuff. I do have an idea of, usually I'll have an idea of what kind of household lives in the house so that I can make sure that the house fits with that household, if that, is logical. But sometimes I don't necessarily have like a full-on background story for this one. I just knew that I wanted it to be communal housing. It was inspired by the household and I wanted everything to look used, but I don't have more of a background story than that. Like, I don't know why the werewolves have this house or what do they use it for exactly? Maybe it's like newcomers that are like new werewolves, if you get what I mean, like werewolves that have just been turned into werewolves. Maybe this is like their middle point. We also don't have a lot of housing, I should say, for werewolves in Moonwood Mills, so it might be like a gathering point for some of the pack, or if there's only one pack, for the pack. But actually I haven't really looked into that. If actually, let me know if you have get together and you've been playing werewolves. Does the club system work with the new pack, or how does it work? Can you make packs? I just realized I said pack, but that's also what it's called. Okay, anyway, can you make werewolf packs without get together, or does the club system help with that? I'm kind of curious now because it's something that I haven't necessarily fully thought about before and I haven't really checked into it myself, so let me know if you have. Also, the other room that we just did close to the kitchen is where we have all the toys for the children. I figured it would make sense to have the playroom close to the kitchen because there'd probably be adults, you know, hanging out in the dining area or hanging out in the kitchen cooking together for the day or whatever. So it would be easier for them to keep an eye on the kids in the playroom if the playroom was close to the kitchen. But this right here is the living room and it's super small. I could not make it bigger because the floor plan of this house was not easy to do. And it's very close to the front door to the house. There's a side entrance, there's a couple of doors actually, just to make it easy, like give a better flow throughout the house, if that makes sense. I know that it's super annoying when your Sims have to leave and you're upstairs and there's only one door outside, so I just want to make sure that your Sims can exit at multiple points in the house, if that makes sense. And yeah, this living room right here is very close to the front door. As you can see right here, this is sort of like the hallway area, so that's where you enter the house. It's very open, it's very big, but we do have this like big space right here when you enter the house. So I don't really know why I made it like that. I think it's because of the window, but I just like how the window looked from the outside, so I didn't want to move it. We're using a mix of windows as well for this house. I forgot to say that at the start of the video when I was doing the shell. But I found that the werewolves window set was too small because we only have one that's made out of wood, right? And it's super small, it's a 2-tile one, and it's open. There's no glass in it. So I didn't want to use that throughout the house because I figured that would be super annoying, like terrible drafts, right? Yeah. So I ended up using one of the sets from Cottage Living, actually, and I know they look a little bit fancy for the house, but I feel like they fit at the same time. There's something a little bit fairy tale-like about some of those windows, so that's the set I ended up using, and then I mixed it with some of the windows from Get Together as well that are a little bit bigger. They have like grits in the framing and stuff. I don't know if that's how you put that, but let's just go with it anyway. But while I do like the windows from the new pack, it surprised me that they just wouldn't fit into this house because the bigger set, they're like open, right? They're open. There's no window in like 2 of them, and the other 2 have this brick arch around the window, so they wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to have them on this house because this house is a wood paneling kind of house, like, you get what I mean? So I just decided to go for another window set, and then I ended up going for 2, but you know, it's fine. I've been using the other windows, and we'll use the brick archway windows. I don't know what to call them, but we'll use those once we do a factory build, which I'll admit I'm a little bit nervous about because factories are super boxy, and boxy builds generally don't really look good in The Sims for some reason. I've been talking about this before, but you kind of want some shape to your houses when you're building in The Sims, because otherwise it just doesn't look right. Like, I can't really pinpoint why exactly, but something about it just looks off. So this is the smallest one of the bedrooms actually, and it's the first one I'm decorating. I wanted this one to be very cutesy and cozy. Those pillows are so cute, by the way. But I ended up basically closing off the bed area. I'm just quickly gonna say this before moving on to the next bedroom, but I ended up closing off the area where the bed is, and then hung these little, because they don't have a night light in there, they don't have a ceiling lamp either, so I took some of the light ropes from Toddler Stuff Pack and raise them up, size them down because those light ropes are so long. Just raise them up a little bit so it looks like they have light bulb chains hanging from the ceiling, and that's kind of their night light instead. So I thought it would look super cute in there. It definitely gives the bed area a vibe, and I personally like it. I think I might have mentioned this before, but I kind of, like, for me personally, for my own bedroom, I would have loved to have, what's it called? Fairy lights, light ropes, whatever you want to call them, at the top of the ceiling, just like zigzagging over the ceiling. I don't know why, but that's just, the idea of it is so cute to me. It doesn't really fit into my apartment. I also can't reach that far up because the ceilings are pretty high. I'm not tall enough, okay? I don't have a ladder. We're just gonna not, plus it's probably very pricey electricity wise. So let's just not do that, but the idea I think is cute. So that's kind of what I wanted to recreate in there, although the length of the light ropes once they were sized down was a little bit hard to work with. I did what I could, okay? I did what I could. So the other bedroom we've already finished, but it was pretty simple. Just keeping it to the minimum, basically. And this one is the children's bedroom. So they end up having a very nice, I think it's a 5x5 room, actually. Obviously, I actually wanted there to be a toddler bed in here too, but decided against it. But if you decide to live in this house and you want some of the Sims to have children and stuff and they have to go through the toddler phase, you can just pull out the bottom bunk bed and swap it with a toddler bed instead, and you should be good. And then once the toddler turns into a kid, you can swap it out again with, you know, this bed instead. You can even keep it in your inventory if you want to. Also, that night lamp is the most adorable thing ever. It is so cute. I love it to bits. But they've definitely been a little bit spoiled, these kids. They have their own playroom downstairs, but they also have a lot of toys up here. I gave them a drawing table. It's the one that's from the new kit as well, the Happy Campers. So cute. I think it's slightly made out of cardboard, so it fits with the cardboard dollhouse that comes with Eco Lifestyle as well. I thought that was really nice once I noticed. I think at least it's made out of cardboard, but I could be wrong. Am I wrong? I might be wrong. My imagination at least has kind of changed it so that it's made out of cardboard and those two just fit perfectly together. So let me live in bliss, or correct me if I'm wrong. It's fine, it's fine. We're using a lot of those murals. I almost want to call them murals, but they're not really. It's wall decor pieces as well. They're the drawn ones. They're so cute. Whoever drew them from the team, amazing, did so good. They are actually like so adorable. And this is the last one of the bedrooms. So this one is actually on the ground floor. I just kind of forgot to decorate it before moving upstairs. Usually I'll get the ground floor done before I move upstairs. That's like a habit of mine. That's just what I do. But I forgot. So once I zoomed out, because I started doing all the bathrooms, I'm not actually sure if I included any of the bathrooms in this video. I might have forgotten. I haven't noticed, sorry, but hopefully there's one there. They all look kind of the same. I also added a potty to one of them, even though there's no toddler living in this house, so that's a thing I did. You know, anyway, but I kind of figured the Sim living in here was maybe a little bit on the older side, and then they really love books. So there's a couple of books lying around from the debug catalog. They have their own bookcase. They have a couch in there that they can sit on and read as well, and they also have their own TV. Definitely a bit of a luxury bedroom compared to some of the other ones, but I mean, if you like smaller bedrooms, it might not be your vibe because it is a bit on the bigger side. You might be more into one of the other ones, I don't know. So out here is the shed where they have their cinema screen, I almost want to call it. I don't know, movie screen where they can sit and watch movies together for like Friday nights and stuff. I don't know, it's a cute idea. Imagine them sitting out here in the middle of the night, Friday night, and you know, they're sitting in, it's basically a forest kind of area, so it's a little bit creepy at night anyway, at least in my opinion it is, but I'm also a city girl, so anything forest at night, I'm like, nope, I don't think so. But, and then maybe they could watch some horror movies together or something. That sounds cozy to me. Like, that's fine. But also, they're right next to a big house, so they could just, instead of walking through the forest to go home. It's a whole thing. Okay, I've watched way too many horror movies, but also, please tell me I'm not alone in this. The forest at night is creepy, right? Like, yeah, okay. I feel like I just asked the most stupid question in the history of the world, but please confirm my suspicions. Okay, thank you. That's all. So, actually, yeah, we have a swing outside. I'm basically just doing landscaping for the rest of the video, I think. I think there was a bit of it that I forgot to record where I placed down the fencing over on the right side, but I might be wrong about forgetting to record it. I had this little area next to, or between the two buildings, I want to say, where I didn't really know what to do. So I ended up basically using, because we have this big fire pit. It's not really a fire pit, it's more like a bonfire situation. I'm placing it down in a second, so I apparently did remember to record it. But we got this item right there, the bonfire situation, from the Werewolves pack, and I hadn't used it yet, so I figured it would make a perfect addition outside here in the front yard. I placed down some one couch, some of those tire chairs as well. The couch, by the way, is from Eco Lifestyle, in case you're curious, once I place it down. It's one of those that looks self-made or like DIY'd, and I just think it fits with this vibe as well. And I wanted to frame it off a little bit as well, even though the rest of the house is not framed off, but that's fine. Details, not like they can't just walk around the fence. It looked cool, okay? It looked cool. They also have a couple of plant pots, but I think that is, or plant boxes, I should call it. Of course, some logs lying around, because that's normal to have in your yard. Just logs lying around for what? No idea. There's no fireplace in the house, but they need logs for something. Maybe for lifting, like weight training or something. I don't know. Oh, and also, I forgot to say this, but I did add a basement. It's not really decorated, but there is the, it was just for the tunnel entrance. That's why there's a basement. So they do have that in their basement. I think you got the point. Anyway, but that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope you like this house. If you do, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the trade files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box down below. Definitely go check out Gin Rummy Stars, the sponsor of today's video. Thank you so much for that. There's a link to them or to the app at the top of the description box and also in the pinned comment. And that is all I got for you guys today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all the good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me to be yours. Looking for a bar in the nearest town. I've never seen a sky so blue.